What's up, Vault Hunters? So we're back in Borderlands 2 today on our Maya playthrough. We are here in the Arid Nexus, and this is one of my favourite areas in the Borderlands 2 story, but I'll get to that in a bit. First, I just want to say a big happy birthday to one of my buddies. Happy birthday, Wolfman. I wish you all the best, and hope you get lots of legendary loot, my friend. That being said, let's jump in a vehicle here and go bust a pipeline. We're progressing quite far in the story at this point, and I think that Jack is starting to feel the tension. Right, so we are going over here. Ooh, that suspicious ramp will come in handy in a moment. Such stylish dismounts, the different animations they put in this game for different actions. So many games just wouldn't bother, like it's just the same thing over and over. Or they just do it completely vanilla, just a really boring dismount.
You okay? Looks like the ladder's busted. Still, the pipe looks cracked. I bet if you raise the pressure, you could blast the pipe wide open, get inside that way. Yeah. Head to one of the pumping stations.
Sounds good, Morty.
Slam! Mordecai! I made it to the Hyperion outpost. Just give me some time and I'll steal a drop barge. Once y'all find out where the warrior is, we can up.
Good, you made it.
Yeah, we know where he was going with that.
To raise the pressure.
Right, how are our weapons going to be performing today? Not bad. We still got a few different bits. We picked up this gun doing some DLC action with my friend Bebop. And we also have gunnerangs in hand, because we were doing a video about that recently. If you haven't seen that, I'd recommend checking it out. I did a video looking at all of the main Batman Easter eggs in the Borderlands games. And as part of that, you've got the gunnerang, and then in Borderlands 3, you also have the Night Flyer pistol. So yeah, check that video out. It's a bit fun, gets a bit crazy towards the end, so give it a watch. And this area I used for part of that video while testing the gunnerang out as well. These giant skulls, like, I'm not sure if in the Borderlands world we've actually pinned down what this thing is yet, but there's quite a number of these around. And I really do feel like Destiny ripped off that that style of skull with their Ahamkaras they have floating around everywhere. Well, the remains, obviously, not actual Ahamkaras, other than the ones they keep pulling in for story stuff. Because there was only meant to be one left. It's a bit sad, like, very early stuff to do with Desto. Did I say Borderlands? No, Desto. They had some stuff flying around in the sky, which people were theorizing would be Ahamkaras, and they play more of a role, but they did keep it pretty minimal. That's fine. Either way, hashtag ripoff. Stabby, stabby. That's weird ordering thing with my weapons again. Don't know what happened with that. Howdy. Okay, let's get some pipes moving. Let's get the pressure build up here. See if we can make ourselves a fresh path forward. At some point in this session, it's quite possible you'll hear me giggle. That's not necessarily a strange thing, but one of my favourite lines in the entire game drops out in a bit. It's just part of just the good writing, just the way that Jack is just such a troll. It's just so good.
Hey, buddy, it's me, Roland. Let's kill Handsome Jack and then we'll all go out for milkshakes.
No, I'm just playing. He's still really dead. Grabbed his echo unit when I left. Just wanted to tell you that Lilith is doing a bang-up job charging the vault key for me. The warrior will be awake in no time.
And there we go. That's one of my favourite lines in the whole game. I should have that as my like text or ringtone. It's hilarious. It's such a good little troll moment from Jack. if I'm driving around this bit, I always imagine there's going to be scrack flying down on my car. At some point, Dr. Z wants you to track down some abominations that were made combining rack and skags. And for some reason, it's burned into my mind. I think maybe the first time I did that mission, I was maybe a little bit underpowered or something, and maybe it was a lot more of an ordeal than it should have been, but either way, if you do that mission and want to deal with them, they'll be right there.
You're done.
Right, let's try and get woken up. I haven't actually played any story stuff on here in a few weeks now. I've been quite busy with a few different videos, other content working on some harder playthrough things I've been doing on Borderlands. Because on this channel we're not just doing one game, we're doing multiple games. We're looking at all sorts of Borderlands games, past and present, trying to just get refamiliarized with these, but playing them in parallel. So Borderlands 1, 2, 3, and Wonderlands, and Tales from the Borderlands, and planning to expand on that list even more. Looking at DLC, doing little separate dips into the DLC stuff as well. Just having a lot of fun. And yeah, it's very interesting seeing these games at the same time being able to compare things. You know, immediately as we re-explore them, see what works in the game, what doesn't, what hilarious lines make me crack up. But yeah, so I've been working on that. The Rackman video that I mentioned, I was very pleased with that. It took me a long time. I made a real mess of making that video, but it came out okay, and I'm happy with that. So definitely give that a look if you get a chance. Got a video about the Lasco gun in Borderlands 2. I was very proud of that. Just pointing out something that I don't think many people know, a secret of the Lasco gun. So yeah, check that video out on the channel, and lots of other things that are in the process. So please do like and subscribe and all that stuff. It helps me out. I'm trying to do some things a little bit different with this channel, and just in general, just have a lot of fun, engage with Borderlands games, not have too much drama. But yeah, we're talking guns, gear, story stuff, talking about the Borderlands movie, all sorts. So yeah, thank you very much for your time and checking this out so far. Are we there yet? Yeah, we did.
Grenade out.
Don't know why I thought that was a functioning door. A mad person I must be. Slag is not good. So slag in this game works as a debuff. So the purple element of the game. And it's a fantastic part of Borderlands 2. I think slag coming in was a great idea. I think it serves a good function in the layout of the weaponry and how the elements work. And I was very sad that it disappeared for Borderlands 3. I really thought that was going to be a staple for the franchise. They sort of had an equivalent, which was radiation, but it just wasn't really the same. I didn't think it functioned as well. I think it was more awkward, just in general, for picking up your guns and doing stuff on the fly, because the radiation element, in terms of it just being a yellow element, just, I don't know, just you get the yellow bars for corrosive damage and stuff. I don't know, just it didn't sit right with me. Didn't sit the same. Didn't feel like it had the right. I don't know. It's not the attitude, but the vibe. Just the vibe connected to it, and it as a functional thing within the game just did not feel as it should. I love the way Jack fires these down. Other than obviously having to deal with them. Get out of here. What's the point? I got a B shield. I'm sure I got a B shield. I did get a B shield. We got that at the end of last session. So this is going to mean that I'm going to be able to pop people all the quicker, but it also means I'm going to go down all the quicker. So I'm going to going to be weaker. This is more of a glass cannon kind of tool. But I like glass cannoning. Glass cannon is kind of my favourite thing to do in games. Big output. Low input. As long as we've got enough to keep chugging along, that's fine. Okay, let's get this other switch. Procrastinated here enough. Or not.
Pressure the pipeline so high, a little force will pop it like a blister.
Get away from my car. Oh, I knew this would happen. Friends don't let friends drive. Yeah, that's quite a funny thing actually about the gunnerang, because of however the programming works. The gunnerang will track enemies when it's flying out, but it actually identifies these piles, which are like a little bit of loot will drop out of there if I punch it, or yeah. So it identifies that as an enemy. So the gunnerang will actually target these little piles, which can be a little bit annoying when you're trying to get it hit an enemy. Get it to hit an enemy, but it's fine. It ends up being funnier than anything else. Scooter. Okay, so we've got loads of pressure in the pipeline. Pipeline is primed and ready to be destroyed. And a really rough launch, but that'll do. You did not hear that in Sanctuary, but I appreciate the sentiment. Stinky pipes. So I mentioned at the start of the session about how the Arid Nexus is one of my favourite areas in Borderlands 2, and if you haven't noticed from the general theme and the vibe, and obviously if you haven't played the original games, then you won't necessarily have the same awareness. But this sort of area we're going into is actually the starting area of Borderlands 1. They reused the geometry, built the area up to be different, to give the impression of having changed over time. Ooh, loot loader.
And now you will fall.
Which I really like. I don't really like it when games reuse elements in the wrong way, but the way they did this with changing it, giving it a bit of a different vibe, giving a story to the changes that happened, was very cool. It was a nice little nostalgic touch. It wasn't like this is a main area in the game in the way that like you're here all the time, or it's like too prominent or early on. Because it's quite late in the game, just this little sort of touch of nostalgia. Little touch of nostalgia and explosions. It's good. It's good. I like that. I'd be happy with games doing that sort of thing more. I was sort of hoping they might have done that in Borderlands 3, but I don't think in Borderlands 3 there's anything that's such a direct copy over as this is. So where we've just appeared here, this is now right by the very start of Borderlands 1, like where you would be in the starting area. Anyone who has played it and isn't immediately aware of the geometry, so if you follow this path,
Mining information, security footage, it all flows to the stockade. Get inside.
So yeah, so this sort of doorway over here, or this canyon,
Everybody, I stole the drop barge. Hyperion was no match for my secret punch you in the face until you die fighting style. When the time comes, we'll fight our way to the vault together.
He's got a good hairstyle. Right, so yeah, that alleyway there is at the start of Borderlands 1. You head off to fight your first kind of proper boss, which is a guy called Nine Toes, and that heads to the area where Nine Toes is. To the left here, if you're going down that way, that's where TK Baja's place would be. And then as we head forward here, we're heading into the first town, or first little kind of area you start in Borderlands 1. This is Firestone. So then the vehicles that you would get, why's my brain not working? The catch a ride would be right here. TK's is over there. You get the alleyway. You get there's an arena over there, and you go off down here towards the arid hills and stuff like that. It's really cool just having this as such a memorable but distinctively different area. I do hope they do something like that in Borderlands 4. Although I have a slightly different thought about that in Borderlands 4. I think Borderlands 4, when it comes out, because of how games like Destiny are, where they've got these kind of maps that they've just been using for 10 years, with nothing in them, and people have been okay with that, by and large, I feel like they'll probably reuse that, because they're meant to be running the new Borderlands in the same engine as Borderlands 3. So I think that they will probably reuse some very large portions of Borderlands 3 in Borderlands 4, and then we'll have just updated them so that then they're able to keep their map and their maps or their list of planets, locations very nice and full. So yeah, we'll see. I'm just going to try and hop up here. And there's a little invisible wall or something right here. That's weird. But in Borderlands 1, I still see him. In Borderlands 1, there is a claptrap unit. Do you mind I'm talking? There's a dead claptrap unit just up here. Why am I failing at this? Can you just jump up here now? I can't remember. I feel like I'm probably overcomplicating this for myself. I am extremely overcomplicating for myself. So yeah, this claptrap unit is up here, just a spare one, just in Firestone for some reason on the roof. I can't remember if there's a reason for that being in the actual story, but it's just there. And so there's a little nod to that this time around. I'm going to give you a loot chest, so happy days. Full of trash, but that's fine. So the other side of this is where Bonesaw would be. Back that way would be back towards you very, very first start Borderlands 1. Although we will get to that location in just a moment, but via a slightly different route. We're able to go through Firestone and out the back. Not many enemies spawning. I thought there'd be more. There's a bit more like it. Alright, fine. Mister, I don't care about your normal bullets, because I'm made of metal. How about some corrosion? How about that? How about that? I really want slide. That is something that the date of Borderlands 2 does, you know, coming back in here and not having the slide, the extra mobility, is a little bit sad. It's a very good addition to games. I'm really enjoying that. I think Borderlands 3 has a very good slide comparative to a lot of the games. I think it just in general has a good feeling for like all navigation. But yeah, so this area we're going into here, that gate there is the first gate you would come through in Borderlands 1. And you can check out that all of this I'm talking about on my channel, because I've got a Borderlands 1 playthrough in progress as well, so it'd be really easy to click across to the first Borderlands video and you'll see us at a new use station, just where this tyre and this post are, and then you go in through here and down the alleyways until you get to Firestone. But the bus that Marcus originally brings you in on comes down this very road right here, and that's kind of the bus stop. So this is the point that you get out in Borderlands 1 and then start your journey through Pandora. And this is Saturn. Saturn likes to be a pain in the butt, so we're going to try and take Saturn out before he takes us out. See if he's got any goodies for us. I think he drops the rocket launcher called the Hive. If memory serves correct. Which is an interestingly novel rocket launcher. What did I say? Did I say grenade launcher? Rocket launcher. I'm very tired. A rocket launcher called the Hive, which has a novel kind of fire to it, because it fires it's kind of like a little ball that you drop out, really, and then that ball will just spin in circles and fire pellets out the side. It's pretty interesting. Not, in my experience, not necessarily the best performing weapon in the world. It's certainly usable, it's certainly a bit of fun, but it's, I think, more gimmick than anything else. And we got nothing in there, but we will take any ammo we can get. Spare gunnerang en route. Iridium we always need. Always need that red rack. He didn't drop us anything much. What a big old smelly meanie. Well, you're just Wilhelm's lower half now. Okay. Obviously there's also a chance that I just wasn't really seeing what was in front of me. If I ever run past any good loot and I'm being a douche about stuff, then please do light up the comment section, tell me what I missed, give me the time. I always do that here. That button suckers me every time. I knew as soon as I pressed it. I mean, I was just testing the lift first to make sure it wasn't one of Jack's traps. Yeah. Ooh, lots of tasty things to open up here. Like this, getting ammoed up. We've got another constructor bot in a moment. I think I might just spam nades at the constructor bot. Although the gunnerang's pretty fun for that as well. Yes, Jack.
I enslaved Angel, but you didn't see what she did to her mother. I had to restrain Angel's power. You get that? I had to.
So this.
He had to exploit her for profit and power too. Don't listen, Vault Hunter. He killed Angel long before you pulled the plug.
I mean, that's technically not true, and actually that's literally not true. But anyway.
Lilith has one little mouth on her, doesn't she? And as it turns out, without her living was pumping through her body, I can stab her over and over, and it just heals right back up. I'm told it's agonizing. Oh, she looks pissed. Son of a bitch. Coming, Lil. Just hold on.
So before they got that greedy and lazy, that they had to try and turn Jack into a sort of good guy, which is all a bit broken. But yeah, before they did all that, I think they would have had quite a lot of bits and pieces down on paper for the backstory for some of these characters. Excuse me, I'm gonna yawn. I don't know why you always make a fist when you yawn. It was like I was going to the mic, I was about to do beatboxing. Maybe I should do like a mic drop every time I yawn. But yeah, it's sort of the impression of where the story was going with Jack and Angel in this game definitely does not line up in very well with where they take Jack and Angel's story through pre-sequel and Borderlands 3. But it does seem sort of more like what Tyrene's story ends up being. So I think that at some point during this game, stuff was left aside that then, you know, was used for developing Tyrene as a character. And I don't think this is answered either while we're on the topic of Tyrene and sirens and all the rest of it, because I also think that it's absolute bunk that Tannis ends up.
Now that you're in, there ought to be an info terminal nearby. Find it.
There ought to be. That Tannis is a siren now as well. This whole just sirens can just, you know, it just floats around like direct who's a siren. I don't know. I don't agree with any of that. I think it's all absolute complete trash. Really damages the games. But the point I was getting to was that we obviously defeat Tyrene at the end of Borderlands 3, and I don't think there's anything in the story that told us where Tyrene directed her siren powers, because she KO'd pretty hard. And I'm not sure if the sort of excuse there is the same as the excuse for why it works that the Destroyer is now dead as well as Tyrene, because Tyrene absorbing the Destroyer meant that the Destroyer was now physical enough in order for us to actually kill him, which the Iridians couldn't apparently figure out, and they had to destroy their entire race to lock the thing up. But then somehow it also needs food, which is why we had the vault door at the end of Borderlands 1, which allowed it to be opened every 500 years, which was intended as kind of a feeding hatch. I don't know, there's just so many broken and convoluted explanations for what feels like should be fairly simple stuff at this point. It's, you know, it's... I hope they fix a lot of it in Borderlands 4. I really hope they fix a lot of it. They've got a good opportunity to fix a lot of it, but stuff is still going in some awkward directions. But, yes, I'm very curious if anyone's got any big ideas. I know I've got big ideas about what's happened with Tyrene's siren powers, where that's going to have gone, and what that means for Borderlands 4 in terms of I think we're at, let me do a head count. So we've got Ava, siren, Tannis, siren, Lilith. I think Lilith's still going to be around because they're just such cowards about losing certain characters. So I think that means that her siren power is still about. We know Amara's is still about, so we've got 4 sirens on the board, all with siren powers in play. And then we know that Tyrene's power is floating around somewhere. Arguably, if you agree that Commandant Steele was a siren and wasn't just someone who was...
There! Jack sent all the Iridium he's mined straight to the Hero's Pass. That must be where the warrior's buried. Get back to Sanctuary. It's time to get ready for the final assault.
That wasn't just pretending to be a siren to increase her standing in the Crimson Lance, which is my sort of view of Commandant Steele, based on the fact that we didn't really ever see anything siren from her. But say that you did. So you've got those original 4 Steels and Tyrenes, and then no doubt there will be a new siren as part of the Vault Hunters you'll play in Borderlands 4, which means we got all 7 sirens in the universe in play. I mean, the idea is there's only meant to be 7. There's your 7. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that, how they direct things going forward, how they fix the gigantic, stupid holes they put in stuff, and how they fix a lot of the weird, mushy, non-specific or committed kind of elements of the siren story. Now, I'm running back to this door like I want to go through it, but I don't really need to go through this. Oh no, I think I need to go here to fast travel. This is Borderlands 2, we can't just go into our menu to fast travel. But we are going to jump back to Sanctuary. And let me think. That actually went quicker than I was thinking it was. I was intending that that'd be a whole session. I probably should have done some more exploration. But we're going to go and turn this in. And maybe just do something else little on the side. I don't think I've got the time to get into the next chunk of the story. And we're getting pretty close. We're getting pretty close to the end of the main story. That's turning in the cold shoulder. I was thinking, why am I going to Scooter? Of course. So this is the cold shoulder. It was a quest you had to do in order to gain access to find Rackman in Borderlands 2. So once again, I'll refer you to that video. Check it out, and love to hear, you know, your experiences with Rackman and Easter eggs in Borderlands games.
And also what second base is.
Glad we could help, Scooter. Right. I did get my vault open. I've got so many playthroughs where I haven't even opened my vault. Hey, Tannis. I'll tell you what, maybe we'll do a little doctor's orders run.
This ends now.
Maybe next session.
Jack, Lilith, and the warrior are in Hero's Pass, so that's where we're headed. This is the final fight, amigo. If you gotta prepare, do it now. Go
check around the city. These people don't have much, but they still want to help you. Hyperions lock the entrance to Heroes Pass. Get back to Claptrap. You'll need him to open the way for you. Brick and I will meet you once you're in. Win or lose, we're gonna finish this together. For Bloodwing. For Roland. For Pandora!
Yeah! Nice, I'm fired up, but not today. So we're going to put that on the shelf, but yes, that is the last mission. So we are extremely close to finishing out the main story. We may do a bit of side questing in that, but I'll probably blast into DLC, keeping these initial looks at the story and the content as fairly succinct as possible. Just ticking these off, re-exploring the game. Right, I need to be careful not to talk to Claptrap. Right, I said Doctor's Orders and then I ran away from Tannis. So Doctor's Orders is a... Oh, it's nearly bedtime. It's a very famous quest in Borderlands 2.
So I generally have trouble verbalizing my thoughts into words that will not utterly confuse or nauseate you. I think my mental processes are now surprisingly focused. I have only 2 words for you. Perhaps the most important 2 words ever spoken on Pandora. Kill Jack. Here, this may help you in your efforts to put a hilariously large hole in Jack's face.
Thank you very much, Tannis. I have no idea why I find you so attractive.
You will help me and I will pay you. It is as simple as that.
Right, let's grab this.
Some people, who are not me, might consider slag experimentation immoral. Some people would not be willing to pay you a great deal of money for bringing me experiment results from the Hyperion Preserve. Some people are stupid.
Many. Right. Okay, so Doctor's Orders is a very famous quest in Borderlands 2. And it's basically because it's one of the most loot profitable quests in the game. Or at least it was. What else have we got here? Let's do a little switch up. I say switch up, and I'm pretty sure I go to the same 3 or 4 every time because I just like certain ones. Let's go a bit wildlifey for this one. I've still got the Circle of Slaughter. No, that's not right. The Slaughter Dome that's in the area we're going to. Oh my goodness, I'm yawning a lot. Which is wave-based. If you've looked at that on the channel, there's just arenas you can do with wave-based stuff just to fight through. The last one surprised me. It was 5 rounds. And I think maybe it's 5 waves of 5 rounds, so it's a fair time commitment. It took a lot longer than I remembered it taking before. But it's a bit of fun, more content to explore. Blue doesn't feel wildlife at all, but I kind of maybe like that complete out of position look. I thought I was going to get something straight away that was going to be a bit more like tigery, a bit more like Chitara. Could go OG. No, let's go really bright. Let's go with the limited edition skin or whatever it's called, special edition. Helps to intimidate some of the wildlife. But yeah, so at the Wildlife Exploitation Preserve, there's literally that in the background is the Slaughter Dome. I've said it again, is it Slaughter Dome? It's the Creature Dome. Slaughter Creature Dome? I can't actually remember the specific name for it. We'll look at it as we go past, but there's that one to do for round-based stuff, and there's also in the Iridium Blight, which is like the purple area, which we've been at recently, and we'll be returning to as soon as we carry on with the Talon of God. That also has an arena called the Ore Chasm, ore like ore mining chasm. So I'll probably try and do those at some point. But as I was saying, Doctor's Orders. I'm having little tangents. Doctor's Orders is one of the famous quests in the game, one of the most famous, because you've got these collect experimentation notes. We're not going to do that. And if you don't do that, what it means is when you get to a room a little bit later through the area, there is a set of boxes in that room, and if you haven't picked up the experimentation notes, then a loot midget or a loot loader bot, like you'll get, basically you're getting enemies that are going to give you extra loot drops, and it is a very loot profitable way to get gear. So we've done that sort of a little bit. I find it's fine for time. We're sort of not badly geared at the moment. It's probably not going to be too much of a hindrance to ourselves to get a little bit more, just to help us out. Make sure the end of the game goes nice and smooth. A little bit of a boost here. Probably timed out not too bad, but these quests will lock at the level that you pick them up. Or it should have done in playthrough 1. Or is it locked to the area? Wait a minute, maybe I've screwed this up. So these are the experimentation notes, so you're just avoiding those. Incidentally, the beam of light that comes off of those, the cyan beam, is the same color as will be used for pearlescent guns in the game. Not many pearlescents, but there's a few. Keep our eyes out as we go through here. When we played this in our main playthrough, we didn't see Pemone or Timber, which is a large stalker, and then a stag. And it doesn't look like they're here again. Having some bad luck with that, with those spawns, unfortunately. But at some point, I may do a little just compilation of Easter eggs in Borderlands 2, and just do a little blast through just some of the smaller things. And yeah, we'll make sure we catch up at that point. Get out of here, you no-name losers. Right, so this is where the natural selection annex. So that's where the creature slaughter dome is, if I'm getting that right. So we'll have a look at that. And that one you get a... For completing that one you get a Moxie rocket launcher, I want to say. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like it was a Moxie rocket launcher. Which is quite handy. Rocket launchers in general are good as just get up guns, just blast the floor. I'm sure you've seen me do that before. I was going to say many times, but probably hasn't been many times, and most people watching this probably haven't watched me many times, so let's not be a jerk about it. But it's handy for getting up. You go down, whip to a rocket launcher, shoot the floor, shoot, you know, nice easy way to get a target and get yourself back on your feet. But the beauty of the Moxie weapons is that they give you health back, so you're getting that extra benefit, extra usability from that little bit of extra survivability that comes with some health regen. So at this point we've got to just fight waves of enemies for a moment, and then we're going to get a badass stalker, which is these kind of bat-like creatures. Bat lizards, and then we're going to get a badass loader bot style dude that'll open at the main door, and then at that point we're able to gain access to this building, which is where we want to go. It's all good having the rapier, which is a pretty solid damage weapon anyway, but it's real fun because of jabbing people. But oh, it does. I was thinking it wasn't going to work so well on the robots, but apparently it was still good. I'm not sure where the stalker went. I think he maybe just got killed in the crossfire. But badass loaders out. Have some nades. I'm gonna hide behind this box. Badass rack from down the bottom still flying around. That's the end of that chapter. Suddenly felt like there was a vault symbol nearby. Not sure if that's correct though. I don't feel like there's a vault symbol over here. No. Don't trust it. I'm gonna leave it. There's one on the road. Should have done on our way through. I'll see if I can point it out from here though. So there is a vault symbol on this like overpass. Just in this area here. Which I can't really make. If you saw that coming, hit me up in the comments below. Now I'm down here, I'm just gonna go and just confirm this. Wasting your time. Apologies. I think maybe I was looking too far along anyway. Oh no, I'm good. So yeah, just here on the road. Vault symbol. Boom. Okay, apologies. I've got to run back through here. If I'm lazy, I don't speed this up. If I'm not lazy, I might speed this up. Full disclosure, probably won't speed it up. Money. Should be available. That's a bit more iridium. 34, probably need to do some spending on that. Might just do that as a little tidy up after this. So you got this area you run through here. This is all open because we've done it in the story already. So the left is where you would exit, but if you keep going around the corner here towards what was Bloodwing's enclosure. Bloodwing's enclosure being this one. That's labelled Bloodwing. This room here is where you get these 4 boxes. And then the experiment notes. This last one would be an experiment note, which we're going to try not to pick up. But each of these should then have a little extra person in. We can get some loot from. But
Well, that's that.
I think you can see they are spawning at 21, so it's not scaling to my level. So everything in this area. Maya's so powerful. To anyone who doesn't know what's going on there, this has been a bane of my entire existence with trying to do extra content outside of this, because I was trying to do like the Rackman video and everything's just dying, man. Everything's dying. So you have this cloud kill, and it basically means when you kill something, it leaves a corrosive cloud that lingers for a while, and it destroys. Like when you've added this with like boosting her elemental capabilities, Maya is one of my least used characters in Borderlands 2, which is why I'm doing this playthrough with her this time. And I never realised, especially for like early game like this, it just turns any kind of nonsense gun into just utter destruction. Hello. Oh, we got a Logan's gun. It's only level 18, unfortunately, because of the what I was just saying, which the area is locked to my level because it's playthrough 1 rather than scaling to me or whatever. So what I said earlier about the missions and picking them up, ignore that. It's irrelevant. Once you get to playthrough 2, that becomes a thing. But in playthrough 1, the areas are more set according to where you would be in the story at that point. But either way, we got a Logan's gun there. We got a bit of loot. I will take it. And the Logan's gun is a very cool bit of kit anyway, and a low-level Logan's gun is actually something I can use on a higher-level character. And I will tell you why, my friends. Because there is a gun in the game called the Norfleet. The Norfleet is a very powerful rocket launcher that you shoot at the floor, or you know, you can just shoot at the floor. It doesn't tend to hurt you when you do so, but it creates these bubbles of explosions, several of them around it. It splits into multiple projectiles, and it eats basically all the enemies in front of you. However, it eats through ammo like crazy because it's very powerful and it uses multiple ammunition every time you fire, so you rinse through it. So there's different ways that you can try and make the Norfleet more of a usable gun, and one of them is the Sham Shield, and the Sham Shield is just a fantastic shield anyway, because it's what they call an absorbing shield. And so what that does is that when you're taking incoming fire from enemies, a percentage of that will be converted. It'll be ignored as damage, but it will be converted into your ammunition. So people shoot you, you get ammo from it. And as part of that, using the Norfleet and the explosions from the Norfleet means you can get rocket launcher ammo back, which is fine. That works pretty well. And I think that works exactly like I've just stated it, although I'm not sure whether maybe the whole point of getting one of these Logan's guns is for this purpose. But I feel like it's both. I feel like you get it back from just using the rocket launcher and hitting the floor anyway. Sorry, hitting the floor by just being in the explosions effectively and getting hit by your own rocket explosions. I'll just pop this on just to show you what the Logan's gun is like. So it's a pretty mad looking gun in the first place. And this gun normally is a dedicated drop, I think, from Wilhelm, which is Jack's right-hand man that you take out in the Tundra Express just after you meet Tiny Tina. But yeah, so this gun is a pistol. Why is this door not open? I guess maybe I just have to clear out enemies in this area, even though I've returned here, because it should be open from the main story clip. So, Logan's gun, you can sort of see here, but we're getting explosions. And that's because, although this uses pistol ammo, it actually fires out rocket ammo. So this gun ends up being a pistol to rocket ammo converter. You then combine that with a shield, the sham, which will pick up ammunition. You can now convert pistol ammo into rocket ammo by just shooting the ground. So because I am sort of level, I'm not level appropriate, but because I'm close in terms of level and we're doing a lot of damage with the gun, you can see it just take me down. But if I'm a higher level, so say I'm, I don't know, level 60 and above, and I'm wanting to run the Norfleet in a build, and I have a level 18 Logan's gun, the level 18 Logan's gun is going to do naff all damage to me, so I can just stand there and shoot the floor, and I'm just filling up my rocket ammo. I'm just converting pistol ammo and just turning it straight into rockets and absorbing pretty much all of it through the sham, the effect of the sham. It's a very cool little build. It is probably the quickest way to get through the game, you know, ever. Like, if you want to just run characters through sections of the game, sham fleet build, just stick on Logan's gun, sham, and the Norfleet, and you just run around spamming rockets. That's it. And every now and again you shoot the floor with a low level Logan's gun, get your ammo back, just keep running and spamming. Takes zero thought whatsoever. Very fast, very fun, makes you feel very powerful. And so yeah, if you get the opportunity and you've never done that, give it a try. So I feel like that was probably 10 times longer of an explanation than it should have been. But as we're here, we're going to go and see if Birdie is available. It shouldn't be a hard kill because of the offset of the let's say age, offset of the levels. But as we're here and we've gone through this route, going to see if we can kill Bloodwing again. I might get a little bit of loot, just another drop. Negative. Now why is that? I'm not sure why that is. Oh, that's why. I forgot that that was a thing. And we haven't even got round to this Easter egg yet. Well, that's pretty handy. So, Mothrak is an enemy in Borderlands 1. Here is Son of Mothrak. Mothrak being a reference to Mothra. Mothra being from the Godzilla movies, originally Japanese movies, some of my favourite movies, old school series. But I'm sure you have heard of Godzilla and Mothra due to their general, I don't know, their household names really these days. With the US sort of reboots of the Godzillas recently. I'm sure this doesn't really go over anyone's head. And we got another legendary. What did we get this time? Ah, the Skullmasher. So that is the correct drop. That is Mothrak's specific drop. And the Skullmasher is a sniper that is pretty mean. It is hard hitting, and it just shoots multiple projectiles. So it's almost like a long range shotgun, but it's pretty filthy. It does some good work, and I do believe you get a Skullmasher in Borderlands 3 as well, which is also very good. So yeah, you can see it's pretty disgusting, filthy. We love it. Okay, we're going to just do a little sprint back to the fast travel and then zip back to Sanctuary. I'm just going to... Okay, so we've got a TDR. I count these as Iridian Tech pink guns in Borderlands 2. They tend to all be kind of overly... Elemental's not the right term, but gloopy. I don't know, they tend to be sort of not bullets. Different kinds of sort of energy sort of shots and spiky things and what have you. Alright, I'll just go back. Spend some iridium. And then that'll be it for today. That has actually been quite an interesting... I can't get through a video without saying things are cool or interesting. Everything to me is cool or interesting. I just can't get past it. I need to increase my vocabulary somehow. Or just my perception of, I don't know, how I perceive things. Rather than cool or interesting. I'm sort of the adult equivalent of a teenager that's just like, yeah, it's alright. Slightly grown from that, but only teeny little bit. Just kidding, I haven't at all. Right, Sanctuary. Boom. That's not the way I need to go to spend iridium. This is. What do you want? Bank 12. Backpack 100. Okay. Well, I guess we just need to keep ticking off some of these boxes anyway, don't we? So let's just... And that's it for today. Huh? I suppose I could... I'm not using the bank anyway.
You better stay on.
You might notice that... You won't notice that because it's actually there. So I've got a video coming out about that. But... yeah, I guess I need to do a different run for that to get some more footage before that happens anyway. But there we go. End our session with some nice white trash. Never thought about that before. It wasn't what I meant to say. Apologies. We'll just get rid of that and forget that ever happened. Let's try another couple of spins. But that's it. Yeah, I'm going to call it there for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope that you had a bit of fun on this continuation of our Maya playthrough. We're pretty much there, so not much left on this run through, this playthrough. That's all I got. That's all I got. Running out. Very tired. So yeah, next time we'll be going and facing Jack finally, so please check that out. If you did enjoy this, please do check out my other content. Please do like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you next time, Vault Hunters. Take it easy, have a great day, peace out.